When we leave this earth, when you and I are no more, what kind of stories will be told about us by those we're going to leave behind? What legacy are you creating for yourself as you are still alive here on earth? A legacy is not created at the end of the road. It is created as we walk that road. And as we are still alive, as God still allows us to live a few more days, we are creating that legacy. We are creating that story. And that story that we are creating for ourselves is going to remain in the minds of those that we're going to leave behind. They're going to tell that story to their children and to their children's children, grandchildren, great-grandchildren. That story is going to live in the minds of the people for many years after we are gone. But what kind of a story would that be? Is it going to be an inspiring story? The nature of that story is going to depend on how we treat people today and now. If we treat them right, if we treat them with love, if we treat them with kindness, that is going to be an inspiring story. If we don't treat people right, that is also a story that is going to be left behind. Jesus is leaving with his disciples a legacy of love. He has lived his life to the full. They saw how he treated people, how he welcomed the people that were pushed out of the community for one reason or another. They learned from not just from what he said, but also from the way he lived his life. Now he's giving them his last speeches. The same love that he planted in their hearts. He wants them to live that love as well, so that when they too are long gone, the story that they're going to leave behind about themselves will be a story of love, an inspiring story. You and I are called to live a life of sound quality, a life that is rooted in the virtue of love. Maybe let us shift our minds from when we are going to leave this earth. Maybe you could be a leader in a position, maybe in a smoke-some community. At some point, you are going to leave that position. You could be maybe a director or a leader at your place of work. You're not going to be there forever. You could be a leader maybe in some government office somewhere. You're not going to be there forever. When you are finally left that position, what kind of story are you going to leave behind? Those people that are under you, what are they going to say about you when you're not up there anymore? Sometimes when we are in some of these positions, instead of creating friends with those people that are around, we begin to create enemies, because maybe sometimes we think we are going to be there forever. So we begin to create enemies. But when that time comes for us to leave that position, and for one reason or another, we are going to be in need, very few people are going to reach out to us because we didn't live well with them. They don't feel inspired to be there for us when we need them. That's why it is important, in whatever position we are occupying, it is important to live well with people, those that are under us. Those are the people that are going to take care of us, because they're not going to be down there forever. We are also not going to be up there forever. Things are going to flip, and we're going to need them. Jesus wants us to create a story of love, a legacy of love, a life that is rooted in love. God created you and I to live to inspire, so that when we are not there, the story that we leave behind becomes the gospel in itself. It becomes the good news. It becomes the message of Christ itself. So that when people listen to others that knew us, when those people say things about us, those people that listen to that story are also inspired to orient their lives to what is objectively good. Jesus has been talking about love one another. The past few days, this is the message that he has been living with his disciples. And this is not just ending in words. They saw that he lived what he's saying. What kind of story are you creating for yourself? What kind of legacy am I creating for myself? God is still giving us an opportunity to live a few more days, so that if we have not been living well with people, we may begin to turn things around. Amen.